call this meeting to order, 6:01 PM. This meeting is being recorded by committee chairs. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify me at this time. Seeing none, we'll go to the roll call of members.
Counselor Bottomley,
Here,
Counselor Gilmore,
Not attending online.
Counselor Bullock,
Here.
Counselor Golub,
Attending online, but microphone is muted, so. It's coming. Yep. Catherine, you're muted. Can you ask her to unmute or unmute her?
Oh, there we go. No,
Catherine, can you hear us?
yeah.
Okay, we cannot hear you.
Can she call in?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's telling her there's a problem with the mic.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, does she want to, she can call in on my phone and I can just have it on speaker.
Well, we'll all need to make sure that we can hear her. And the people online will need to be able to, must be able to hear her also.
Can we put it by that speaker?
Yeah, but it won't speak through.
She just a text to us saying there's a problem with the mic.
What mic?
out this mic.
Well, so we shouldn't use the chat, which makes it kind of difficult. So why don't, Catherine, if you can hear us, if you can call Marianne's cell phone, and we will try hearing you through that on speakerphone.
Should.
And we will ask, Marlo entered the waiting room.
Hi.
I'd like to, it says your browser is correct. Learn, allow.
When is the last time you updated your Chromebook? Okay. So,
I've done. Right.
okay. So,
I am.
but they need to be.
You could also, you could call in from your cell phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, and where?
This, she can go on Zoom.
Zoom from this.
Yeah,
That's okay.
okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
Sorry about this.
Okay,
then we won't have the weird feedback issue.
yeah.
Should I finish the roll call?
Oh, yep, let's go for the first one.
I am here.
The 10-minute roll call here.
Have a quorum, Mr. President.
Do we want to wait a minute for Catherine to try to call in to see if we can hear better?
Give it just a little bit.
Okay. So while we're waiting, this is not an agenda item, but it was something that I was gonna pass out to each of you. If you want to have direct deposit, you have to fill that out and send it, get it back to us. If you scan it in and email it to us, that should be fine. Catherine is probably searching for the phone number to call in.
Give it another minute and then maybe start in.
Oh, entered the waiting room. Counselor Golub, is that you? You are still on mute.
Oh, no, that was someone
Nope,
else.
now you go right ahead. Counselor, yes, connecting with audio. Do, 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 do.
some audio support from the fan.
Right.
Yes. Catherine, can you hear us?
We can probably start and just pause when if we get to,
Yeah,
our
because
committee.
yeah, I think there's only like one question for AMO.
One other.
But let's start and we can always try calling, maybe do it through the phone if we need to. First thing on the notes is city council reorganization meeting in January. I was talking with Clerk Scott about this, about potentially doing that. Since no one has to be sworn in, it's not necessarily the day after the first. So maybe doing it before committee chairs on January 7th. Maybe, or set it for like 6 PM and then have committee chairs at 6:15.
And what I had suggested, because whoever gets elected president will then have the opportunity to schedule committee chairs, maybe the same, maybe different, and the committee memberships. So if in January at the committee chairs meeting, the current committee chairs could still attend to get the work done. Because we'll have a special meeting for the organizational at 6, and then a committee chairs at like 6:15. So if the current officers, committee chairs could sit at that committee chair meeting to get the business done, then the new committee chairs in February.
So the January subcommittees still be chaired by the previous.
Yeah, that's what we did the last 2 years.
Yeah.
This year.
I think it also depends on how quickly the committee lineup is put together,
Right.
you know?
Let's say one of the years, we didn't have committee chair, subcommittees in
Right.
January at all,
Right.
because we didn't.
Oh,
have
yeah, we
committee
held
chairs.
them the first year.
Yeah. So I think if everyone is a bit flexible with chairing a meeting or co-chairing, maybe with someone new, you know, that we could get it. January could continue. No one is new. The council is still the same 13 members. If we just need to be a little flexible. So,
Yeah, I think-
so are we
Above board,
scheduling for the 7th, 6 PM for an org meeting and 6:15 for committee chairs?
Sure.
By the way, the charter amendments were passed. We do not have to deliver for special meetings anymore. So this organizational special meeting will not be delivered.
Oh, like you don't have to bring a notice to our home?
Right.
Oh,
We
good.
just have to figure out a concrete way that we're gonna say, we're gonna deliver these this way. You need to acknowledge receipt or something of that sort.
These are the ones that are like 48 hours or something.
The ones that we would deliver to your resident or business within 48 hours of the meeting.
Right.
Great.
Question, can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Oh,
I
there's.
somehow, I went out and I came back in and it
Okay.
worked fine.
So
Do
it's
I need to
6:10.
announce that I am present?
Thank you. 6:10 PM. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on to discussion on appointment of a parliamentarian. I have not gotten any further with that. So I don't have a process, so I think I'm gonna kick that down the road to January. This I don't remember, status on the ordinance to allow living in campers and trailers.
That's just, it was a discussion. There was no ordinance being proposed, but I don't think it needs to be on the it doesn't need to be like held on there. It's,
Okay.
it was like if someone came back with like model regulations and whatever. It would-
So are
Okay.
we removing it?
Otherwise,
Yeah,
I think it can be removed. It was just a discussion item.
So it could be said that because a counselor didn't step forward to support it, that it's not.
Dead water.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Electronic communications, I also have not looked into this any further. I don't know if this is something we want to leave on or remove from.
That's clear, it's clearly outlined in open meeting law. You can't have electronic communications with like a quorum of the public body during the meeting. But there's nothing in open meeting law that says you know, you can't send an email, send a text message, and like, just to say plenty of legislators get information on discussion topics from people through either being handed, like if you watch a congressional hearing, they get like handed a paper,
Mhm.
or
Well, it's from their aides. That's very different than from the public. I actually would love to see more of this come about because if people from the public aren't allowed to cross the rail to hand us stuff during the meeting, they can't come up and whisper in our ear.
Mhm.
Why should they be able to send us a text message or a communication via email?
I think it's something that you could definitely take up with the state around open meeting law. But it's not, I don't think it's something in our purview. It's because it is outlined.
I think it might be up to each counselor to swipe it away if it comes in during a meeting.
I mean, I understand times have changed. Like when we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have internet, none of this would even be a topic for discussion because you couldn't get talked to. And like, I have kids, I have sitters that watch my kids when I'm here and like, yeah, am I going to keep my phone on me? Sure. If I hear it buzz, I pick it up and I see it's my sitter, I'm going to excuse myself and I'm going to go answer a personal call. But if I see a constituent is sending me a text message, I'm not entertaining whatever they say. I'm not even looking at it.
Mhm.
That's why I think it's, more of an honor code than anything else. But I also, for lack of faith, I don't trust the ability of people to uphold an honor code anymore. So.
So I don't know if I think everything's been said that we need to on that. I think everybody's kind of said
Wait,
their-
can I add one other
Yeah.
crazy thing about the open meeting law with that though? Is that technically the open meeting law would allow, like if I wanted to text you during an open meeting,
Hmm.
I could do that, which I think that is unethical. Like
You
we
mean
could, you and I
between
could
councils.
deliberate, just you, like one-on-one, you and I could, because electronic messaging during an open meeting by less than a quorum of the public body's members will not directly prohibited by open meeting law is discouraged if those electronic communications are not shared at the meeting. So technically, like it's only a quorum. So there is a lot to be desired.
Right.
Yeah, there's
Right,
all of
but so where does the rule come about? Nobody coming behind the rail? Is that our policy or is that a
That's
state?
Robert's
policy?
rules.
Right. So it's.
And you've
it's
adopted
just-
Robert's rules.
But the public could walk up and hand you a paper during an open.
They would
meeting.
have to request permission to come in the rail.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just,
These are just conflicting things about one thing. I mean, neither of these things are really enforceable anyway. I mean, you violate open meeting law, nothing happens. You violate Robert's rules, nothing happens. So they're really just,
Kathy gets mad at you.
well, right, no, people can get mad at you, but like, if we violate open meeting law, no one's coming and arresting us. No one's giving us a fine. We're totally above liability for any of that anyway.
So if it
So-
were,
I'm
I'm
just.
sorry, yeah, no, so you're right. Open meeting law violations, there's a complaint form, you
Yeah.
have to address the complaint.
Mhm.
You have to state, during a meeting, what you're going to do to resolve the issue. If the complaints are consistent enough, you can receive a fine.
Mhm.
The city, I'm not personally liable. for anything.
You're not personally liable, but the city would be
Sure.
fined, the council would be fined, whatever they were fined, to my memory, which is debating as we speak. There hasn't been a fine violation in Greenfield,
Right.
but,
I'm not suggesting you do
right,
it.
no.
I'm just
Um,
saying, these are all, again, these are honor codes, right?
As
Like,
much, as much as a pain in the butt as I can be, I try to like raise my hand and say, no, open meeting violation or, whatever.
So it also sounds like it could be a policy thing, like if council wanted to present it as an ordinance.
Or just a policy,
Right, right.
because a policy is different than an ordinance, but. Right.
But I think for now we can remove that.
strong suggestion, if you will.
Mhm.
The next one is approved memorandum of agreement between Greenfield and Mass Cops Local 470, which had its first reading. That would go to Ways and Means. Next is mayor's appointments and reappointments. That would go to A&O. So going by committee, this is where we'll have a couple questions. Economic Development Committee.
Oh,
Any questions about the ADU?
So I was just trying to look up what is that deadline January 4th? Do you guys remember off the top of your head?
The deadline for what?
When we have to hear the citizens
It
petition?
has to be voted on by February 5th.
Okay, February 5th, great, I have both numbers off. And for just the well, I guess it doesn't matter if the regular ADU one dies, because we sort of maybe wanted to.
The regular ADU one that Counselor Garrett proposed?
Yeah. Is that the one that I have January 4th in my head on?
Tammy gave me her magic folder and I promised to be nice, not mess.
I think Tammy was who originally emailed me when I asked, but I just can't find it in my.
Zoning amendment ADU, this is the voters petition. The voters petition is February 5th. These are miscellaneous amendments. Counselor Garrett, this is also February 5th.
Oh, they're both February 5th. Okay, great.
Yep.
So for both the ADUs, I need to get a legal opinion if the mayor does not want, I sent an email on November 14th requesting a review of the citizens petition for ADU
Mhm.
by the city, which is what I talked to the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities and the governor's office about the new ADU regulations that are coming down, which they assured us there will be like more robust guidance from the state that comes with ample time for us to do something before February 2nd. And they said for first line, they want the city's attorney to review the citizens petition and give us guidance on whether that would be legal under the current regs that they've passed in. There is a few questions in there on whether it would even be legal.
The last communication I had with the mayor about the ADU was that she was going to send it to Attorney Quinn.
Oh, okay, I didn't get that email.
But no, it was just a reply to me.
Okay,
I haven't heard anything, but your follow-up email also went to her.
okay.
So I'm kind of waiting to see what kind of response, because I haven't seen one yet.
Okay.
But I can follow up with her.
Yeah, that would be great because I mean, really, we need to know this before I mean, ideally, we would hear this month, but we can hold it and hear it in January.
And maybe it should be held and not rushed
Yeah.
until January, but
Well, right, the citizens petition, I just wanted to give ample time, but I mean, citizens are welcome to come and make public comment on it this month, even though we're not hearing it. The other ADU, I'm definitely holding, so that won't be discussed at this month at all.
So we're moving the last two on there.
Yeah, the other one,
should be-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
so we're moving both ADUs from the EDC agenda for December.
Right. They will most likely be on January's EDC agenda. The other one that's of question is the rooster petition, which I read some information. Hold on a second. Basically, because of the right to farm laws, we can't force someone with 5 acres or more to get a special permit to have a rooster. So this one like is in direct violation of something that we've adopted as a city. So basically, like, what do I do when citizens petitions are in violation of state law?
You heard them and you dismiss them.
We don't
I
have
would think,
to
right? Like,
vote on them or just,
you responded, right? Isn't that the
Right.
requirement of the petition is to respond?
So if I may ask that I can look into that. So we all know that we can't do something that's in violation of state law. But I am not a zoning expert. And I would like to have a discussion with Eric Torog, who is infinitely more zoned in on it. Get what I did there?
Yeah, it's all that.
So obviously, we can't do something that's in violation of law. The process to go about notification to the citizens who submitted this petition, I will have to find out.
okay.
But can you not just need to even bring some? Can't you not further restrict locally what state law has? You can't expand beyond what state law says, but you can further restrict locally, correct? Isn't that kind of how the federal, state, local governments go?
I think you're correct. But are we restricting it or are we violating it?
That's also true.
So I think there needs to be a,
Well, this,
Sure,
so
definitely.
this might be something, I mean, I was waiting to hear about if it could be reviewed by Attorney Quinn. But this might be something that I think needs to potentially be looked at by him as well.
Specific language,
I'm trying to
yeah.
find the email because Counselor Brown did speak with Eric. And no, I don't know where it went. Anyways,
It's so hard to find.
it's potentially, yeah, might be something we want to get reviewed by the city attorney as well.
Okay.
Because I'm also not a zoning expert and don't feel comfortable saying.
I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
Is anyone really a zoning expert?
There is zoning experts. I
No, like,
I talked to them the other
I
day.
know,
We're
like,
the house, like
five.
the governor's office and the housing and livable communities people, they were zoning experts.
Again, this item is the newest of the zoning that the deadline isn't until March.
Okay.
So we have a little bit more time, not that we
Okay.
want to wait because we don't want to drag anybody on, but, yeah.
I would just say, not even just for this petition, there are definitely roosters in this city that are on land that is not 5
Oh my God, there's a,
Like,
I mean, I am
not 5
I am
acres at all.
sympathetic of this. There is a rooster on my street that I have looked for. And I would take that bad boy out if I could find him. Cause he is same thing, what David Moscataro said, that like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., so, like, that is my life.
I have two neighbors.
Yeah.
One over there, one over there.
I'm not even cool, like, I have neighbors
We all
a
got
couple
neighbors.
ways down the road and they got free range chickens. And I said, it comes across my street in my yard. That's dinner.
That's dinner, baby.
That's dinner. Like, you do not have the right to have your chickens on my yard.
So is that,
Better make sure if you don't want to
So that one will hold,
This
then,
one, this we're gonna,
yeah, people are welcome to come and speak to it this month if they want to, but we're gonna hold that one.
So you're holding a joint public hearing.
Oh,
um,
right, that, yeah, we're holding.
For that with planning board on December 10th.
Okay,
And then the 1, 2, 3, 4 zoning amendments, 200, section 12, 40, 48, and 14. Are you voting on it, EDC, to forward a recommendation to the council?
that's the plan for those. They might get held again because I know I have amendments to some of those things. So if we can, if the committee feels like we can make a recommendation, absolutely, we'll move it forward.
So they'll be on the agenda for an order to vote.
Yes. One thing, though, is we actually need to make sure we have a quorum. Because I know Rachel Gordon is not going to be able to be there on the 10th. And I believe Counselor Garrett isn't going to be able to be there either. They're like about to have a baby.
There we have it.
They have the baby, so he won't be there either.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
Now they told me. I
great,
could tell
that's
you.
great. Good. Yeah, like that was their like D-Day if they didn't have it was the 10th, so.
so we will check on a quorum.
Yeah, so I talked to Counselor Healy, he's a definite yes. So Counselor Minhas is the only one that. And then we'll have 3.
Okay,
all right, so we're set with that. So A and O. Appointments. And then I had a question about the hybrid meetings amendment. Is that discussion or for vote?
I believe that we'll be ready to pass it, to vote on it in A&O this month. 2 questions, just for clarification. One is, we need a first reading and a second reading on that, correct? So that would be first reading December and second reading January. Is that accurate?
no, so I tried to call you back yesterday, but your voicemail is full. So I sent you an email. So first and second readings are for financial items.
Okay.
So ordinances would need to have a public hearing. So President Bottomley, if I could ask some questions to you.
Yep.
Okay. So do you want to hold a public hearing on that proposed ordinance in December? Or do you want to discuss it one more time and hold a public hearing in January?
If my second question, and thank you for responding, is I know that in other municipalities, sometimes if something is brought during one legislative season, that they
Not in
can't.
Greenfield.
Okay, I didn't
Not in
think that.
Greenfield.
Okay, wanted to make sure. So, I don't know if there's any reason why we wouldn't just do the public hearing in December and vote on it in December.
So we can, but we need to know tonight because Tammy needs to get it to the recorder tomorrow.
Sure. So, and those 2 things have to happen simultaneously, the public hearing and the vote? Is that true?
No,
Right.
they can happen the same night, but they
Okay.
don't have to happen the same night. If you hold the public hearing in December, you can simply hold a public hearing on it and then make a recommendation in January, forward it to council in January. If you want to pump the brakes for one more month.
Oh, I don't think that there is a need to pump the brakes. Clarification, does the public hearing have to happen at the full council meeting or can it happen at subcommittee?
Can happen in
Both.
subcommittee.
Okay, then let's have the
Either, right?
public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then let's have the public hearing next week at the subcommittee and let's
Okay.
vote on it.
December public hearing for A&O. And do you also want it on the agenda for a motion
At
to vote
A&O?
it? Yes,
Yes.
okay. A&O vote and December public hearing, okay?
Then that would essentially be on our full council agenda as well for December.
Potentially it could be.
So
Um,
when you say potentially, we have the public hearing at ANO next week. We vote on it next week. If there is some reason, I don't think so. We had it was on for discussion at ANO last week and last month. And the
mhm,
questions that were raised, I think will be able to be addressed at the next
Okay.
meeting. And there
Yep.
just seemed to be a favorable sense of the committee.
Okay.
So if something happened that I was not anticipating, other concerns about it, could I reach out and say, let's have it on full council in a month? Would that
Yes.
be an option? Okay,
Yes.
great. Then let's do that.
So just to clarify, the plan is A and O will hold a public hearing at next week's meeting. A and O will vote to forward a recommendation at next week's meeting, and it will then be on the December council agenda for a full council consideration in December. Cool.
Thank you.
All right.
I think that's it for A and O. Community Relations Committee. There was a request from Counselor Brown to continue the discussion. I'm not sure if Sheila can chair that meeting. I'm tempted to hold off on this one just because there wasn't any specific item that we were talking about. And I believe Counselor Brown has also been in communication with the mayor. So I think without any specific item to talk about, I think I would postpone that for now.
So are
We
we,
don't need to have a CRC meeting this month.
so we're canceling it for December,
Yes,
all to November, January.
yeah. Ways and Means has the memorandum of agreement. Is that the only thing? I guess that's it for Ways and Means.
I am told that there may be a couple of additional first readings coming forward for the council, but we have received nothing yet, so.
Going to the draft of the city council meeting. We've got the appointments. We've got the memorandum, the 4 zoning, and we're removing the ADU, the last 2 ADUs,
Yeah.
and we're adding the amendment to chapter 49.
Meetings.
the- From A and O. Potentially.
Thank you. Expectedly.
Yes, and I'm guessing there will be first readings
Right.
for fund transfers. I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Anyone have anything else? No?
I'll just add, I don't know what's gonna happen yet, but I do think it could go under new business for something that might come up, which is that I got a number of emails about idling trains. And I actually spoke to 2 of my neighbors yesterday and today. I spoke to another one. So I'm looking up, one of the neighbors did tell me that there was some state law about trains idling in cities for more than 30 minutes at a time, which definitely happens. Like, I live across the train tracks, so it definitely happens, but I don't know what our recourse is with that, if any, and if this has ever come up before, but I am, at this point, I've heard from half a dozen constituents in the last couple of weeks, so there might be something coming in.
I would go out on a limb here and say that would be probably an executive's issue,
Yeah,
nothing that we can do.
I did email the railroad folks that I have the emails for, because I have also been trying to get them to clean up a lot of land that abuts my precinct and Counselor Perry precinct for 2 years now. And we cleaned it up this
Yeah.
September.
Usually the only way it gets done.
Yeah, but Marlowe's people came and picked a lot of stuff up, so.
Meanwhile, they'll probably tell you you're trespassing.
Yeah,
Just to point out that this is not on the agenda.
yes.
So,
Well, railroad was a new business.
Yeah, this is important because I also got a phone message on that, and it sounds like it's getting worse or
Yeah.
abnormal, that
It's
they're
been-
right on Hope Street, and that hasn't been the norm.
Yeah,
So that-
and the like compressor goes off a lot. It's been worse for the past few months than I've been there
Wow.
15 years and it's been worse the past few months.
Okay, so we'll add that. And I will also talk to.
We'll add that to new business on the council agenda. I'm just
I
asking.
don't know if we, do we? need-
Not for this month agenda, but I think we should, if it could go on next month's committee chairs, I feel like by
Committee
then
chairs,
there
yeah.
might be a,
We'll know
something.
where to go, yeah, to talk about that.
Okay.
And I'll talk to the mayor too, if you want to, we can
yeah, it would be
try to
great.
find out what we can do. For someone to do something.
That's wonderful.
Great. I guess I'll take a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Second,
and we will need a roll call vote for that.
Counselor Bottomley,
Yes.
Counselor Gilmore still not here. Counselor Bullock,
yes, I'm a yes. I'm here and I'm a yes.
Counselor Golub,
Yes.
Counselor Toronzo.
Yeah.
We have a call. Well, whatever the
Meeting
option.
is adjourned.
Yes.